Welcome to the Motivated Martial Arts Podcast. Your hosts, Jackson White and Gavin Cook, have been friends and Taekwondo training partners for over 40 years. This podcast will bring you a mixture of their life stories, martial arts, and business experiences to motivate you in life and throughout your martial arts journey. Adding in a mixture of inspiring interviews and some of the best traditional martial artists around today. So over to your hosts, the Motivated Martial Artists.
Welcome to the Motivated Martial Artists Podcast with me, Gavin Cook.
And me, Jackson White.
And this evening we've got six-dan legendary international fighter Rodger Lawrence on the show. Hi, Rodger.
How you doing?
Thanks for coming on this evening, young man.
Yeah, thanks for calling me young.
Hey, Rodger, it's a pleasure to have you on the podcast. I know you've got some great stories to tell us from some of your fighting days and your Taekwondo days. But for our listeners, I suppose most of them will want to know, really, where did you grow up? What's your background? Where did you go to school? And how did you eventually get into martial arts?
Well, I'm a Brummie. I was born in Birmingham, and I went to school. I was 6-year-old primary school, then Laidwood Comprehensive, and I was just an everyday kid. Was getting into scrapes, doing nothing with life, just bumming around basically. How I got into martial arts. So, sorry, a great friend of mine, family friend, Livingston White, he done shotokan karate, and he wanted me to come to karate. Then one of them, my other mate, Albert Edward, who done Laugar, he wanted me to go to Laugar. So I thought, I don't want to choose either one because friendship and all that. And basically I was walking the other side of Birmingham, the south side, because I live in the north side. I saw a poster, somebody jumping up and smashing some tiles. And that was now Grandmaster Paul Donnelly. I thought, I want to do that. So I went down to his club. This is another funny story. My timekeeper is rubbish.
So you're well renowned for that, aren't you?
Yeah. So went down and I missed the start date. And back then, you missed the start date, you have to wait another 3 months. Went back another 3 months, missed that start date as well. So it gets better. So I went down another 3 months later, missed that start date. I said to Master Donnelly, listen, this is my third time. I need to start. Hey, look, I said, gave the money, it was £10 a month at that time, and took the money and started on the Wednesday, and that's how I started.
God, you could have been a fourth dan by the time you actually got into that club.
Oh, but there you go. But yeah, and then from day one, it was that like the bug hit me, and that was it. I love Taekwondo, and there you go. That was my starting playing Taekwondo, and probably one of the best things ever I've done in my life.
So just talk us back to that first class. What got you that bug?
I walked in and there was about 40 people in the class, new beginners, and it's just like watching Master Donnelly doing his thing and trying my best, failing, and I just loved it. It's just I don't know. It's just like I just felt this is me, and now that's me. And I went home and tried to do sit-to stands, low six, but messed it up. But I just loved it and went home. And I think I've got to go back. And it's like, I don't know, it's a bug.
Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it? Because we can all remember the first time we walked in the dojang.
Yeah.
You can remember that how you felt. You can remember sometimes the smell of the hall, because back in those days it was nearly always concrete floors.
Yeah.
Basement, wasn't it? Some dodgy basement somewhere.
Yeah, it was. And the surprising thing is I went in there and I saw some friends of mine who were green and blue belts that I knew from just everyday life, and they didn't tell me they'd done Taekwondo. I'm thinking, I know it. What are you doing here? I think, God, why did you tell me about this club? It's all secretive that time.
Right, yeah, you have to find your own way, don't you?
Yeah, it was.
Those things, there's no point being coached into it. You got to find your own way there.
Yeah.
Okay. So one thing we always like to talk about. Can you remember your first grading?
Was first grade? Yes.
Well, talk us through that then.
My first grading, I remember. THB had just started. It's just started. But I've never graded with anybody else by the first grading, and I walked in, and almost passed out. I was so nervous. So nervous. I was sweating. I was like, it was a blur, but I just stood there shouting my name and went up there, and I couldn't even hear anything. I saw people do the 60 stand punch. I was just copying, and then I just got relaxed and got into it. And then I came out, and I would never sweat so much in my life. I'd sit down and I thought, did I pass? Did I pass? Did I pass? And but yeah, it was so nerve-wracking. Yeah.
It's good to remember that, isn't it? It's good to remember how you felt on that first grading. Obviously, being an instructor yourself, you know, because you have that empathy then with when you're doing your gradings, and you've got the white belt adult that stood there in front of you, and their hands are shaking and they look like they're about to be sick.
Yeah, I just tell them, I was there. I was, whatever you're feeling, I felt the same thing. Don't worry about it. And we just try to relax people and just break that barrier. I'm not into this. I'm a sixth dan, you're a lonely white belt. No, it's not that. We're taekwondo together. I'm here to grade you. I'm here to pass you. Relax. And you want to see a smile on the face. And yeah, now you're going to perform your best.
Yeah, well, you're coaching them, aren't you? That's the thing. You're trying to coach them through it, aren't you? You know, there's no point in just sitting there saying, like you say, you know, you come on there, or you've passed, you failed. You know, the first grading, you want to try and almost coach them through it to a degree, don't you? Otherwise, then they'll never come back these days.
Exactly. Some people try to make themselves too big and belittle people, and you never see them again. So you have to remember, how did I feel when I was my first grading, or any grading, my black belt grading, doesn't matter. How do I feel? The feeling doesn't actually change from the white belt to a black belt. It does actually change. The face is just the same, but you had to handle it differently.
That's it. It's how you deal with it, isn't it? And it's the same as you'll know. It's the same as competition fighting, isn't it? It's about how to deal with that nervous energy and control it into your advantage.
Yeah, definitely.
So on the competition sparring, you're a renowned world fighter. Talk us through that first time you ever stood in front of anybody and started to free spar.
Right. My first final was against Stuart Ray.
No, just sorry. Well, just take us back further than that. Just in the club.
In the club?
Yeah, in the club. That first time when I suppose Master Donnelly said, right, 2 rows with free sparring.
Sorry. I think it was like a windmill. My legs had been thrown anywhere, not eating anything. And techniques went out the window, just punching and kicking. I think I'd done knee kicks, groin kicks. Your legs up there.
Some of Gavin's favourite techniques, knee kicks, groin kicks.
They still work. They still work every time.
Oh, man, I was, but you know, the first I got punched in the face, I was like, oh, you hit me. Someone got kicked in the face, like, wow. But it didn't, it made me stronger, made me want it more. I mean, I remember seeing people fighting through wonderful kicks. Maybe it's just like, as you sit down, watching the second class, wanted to be there. I mean, fighting at the juniors, it was good. That's good people. But with novice fighters, we didn't know a side kick, turning kick, hook kick, and reverse turning kick. What was that? That's yeah, but we just got on with it and got through it. Yeah.
Just got through those techniques. So what about your first competition then? Talk us through that.
My first competition, I remember I got, as I said, in Central Insurance. In the final, I fought Stuart Ray. Both yellow belts. I remember he had a sweatband, and the only kick I could do there was a turning kick. Couldn't know the other kick was a turning kick. I thought, I remember if students listen to this, they probably hopefully smile. I remember hitting with a turning kick with the head, and he hit his head back. Backwards, went off his head. no head guards then, obviously. And no, it was a shin instep. I remember I just panicked that fight, just about won basically, but it was nerve-wracking, and I think I won. I remember ran home, told my mum, I won my first competition. She said, well done. And that was no excitement. Well done, son. There you go.
How old were you, Rodger? How old were you on your first competition?
I think I was about 20-ish, about 20. Yeah. Yeah. I remember I went home and I had a medal. I ate my tea and fell asleep on the table. I was knackered.
And it's thing is that you have that first competition, and you know different types of people. Some people will do their first one, they'll be like, "I'm not doing that again," and other people just get totally hooked on that feeling, don't they?
I was hooked. I remember I said to Paul Donnelly, because at that stage you couldn't go to squad training until you were a green belt. I was begging him, I was yelling about, "Can I go? And he one day said, "You can go down." I got beaten up. That day.
I was like, okay, talk us through that then, because you know the fitness side of that, for anyone that hasn't attended, it's lethal, isn't it? It's a shock to the system. So how did you deal with the fitness side of it?
I didn't. I went the fitness. I went at home and I stitched all night. I couldn't even go out. I would like going to a nightclub. Nightclubs finished that Saturday. I was knackered. the pain. Oh, stitch. That was all. I would say to people, squad training, when later on when Master Donnelly said the squad training now in a month's time, you got fit to go to squad training to get fit. You couldn't go there not fit.
Yeah.
I used to do circuit training just to be fit enough to go squad training. That was it.
I mean, but yeah, when Master Oliver used to do those sessions back in those days, they were just absolutely brutal, weren't they?
Yeah, in the Hinckley, yeah.
Yeah, Hinckley Leisure Centre on that green floor we used to sometimes train on.
That's the one, yeah. I think it's because one of his sons or something was in the army, and he's giving tips, and he was military based, and
he was militant. Oh, without a doubt.
Oliver's army.
Yeah. Right, it's militant. I mean, we used to do, I think, an hour fitness or so, then get changed and straight down the spar. You were dead because of the fitness, and then sparred again and did fitness in the end. You have to be single-minded, brutal training. That's it. No.
So how long were you doing squad training, Rodger, before you started finding your feet? When you were not just with the fitness, but also with the sparring as well.
Oh, I'd say I didn't help myself when I went squad training. I did not help myself. So I was always cocky. I've got to be a little so-and-so. So I went in there and I wanted everybody to know me. I'm Rodger Lad, blah, blah, blah. And so I applied my field quite quickly because people put the feet in my face. But
best way to learn sometimes.
Yeah, and I learned that way. I just found my feet because I was a nuisance. That's how I found my feet with them. The greats, Tony Saw, Kim Stone, Kenny Walton, and the rest of them. Mick Hiart and all that, because I was nuisance to them, and either they're gonna like me or hate me. But I was just there. I was there, and I wasn't going away. That's me. I'm here to stay. And that was it.
So you're obviously getting selected for the squad. You can't do that until you're a first degree black belt. Yeah. When did you get your first degree black belt? Just talk us a little bit through that.
1986.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Got my black belt, and I just trained hard for black belt. I was training at that time. I used to train 2 days a week in Birmingham, Tuesday days in Wolverhampton, and the circuits in Birmingham on a Sunday. And everything was geared for either tournament or my patterns and everything for my black belt grading. So I remember I took my black belt near Christmas. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I took my black belt near Christmas, and I think it was Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. I actually phoned Paul Donnelly back for grading. And because some of the friends said, "Did you get a phone call?" No, he passed. I'm thinking, I'm not going to phone him. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I thought I'm going to phone him. I don't care. I phoned. I got round. I see him at Christmas Day. I phoned him. How could you do that to somebody? Christmas Day, small probably get together for black belt grading, but I was so I didn't care. I just wanted to know. So there you go.
Yeah. And obviously you passed.
Yeah, I passed.
It's a good Christmas present for you.
It's buzzing, mate. Buzzing.
Who was your examiner? Who was it? Was it he or Chow, or was it Ree?
Heel Chow. I never graded on the mastery at all. Heel Chow.
Yeah.
Okay. So once you got your black belt, then how long was it before you actually got selected into the TAGB squad?
Straight away, mate. Soon as I've done my black belt, probably next week's internationals out there.
Okay. Who were the fighters? What weight were you fighting at, Rodger?
I was fighting at middleweight, 76 kilos.
Okay. And who were some of the fighters around in your division back then?
All right, there's the Reddy brothers.
Yep, Steve Reddy and Ian Reddy, yeah.
Reddy brothers. There's Manjeet, and there was Stewart. First, then Grogan for a short time. So there was Neil Williams from Gloucester, and there's some awesome fighters, mate. You had to be on the board all the time, or one of them will pick you off, which they did from time to time.
Yeah, of course, yeah. On your way to, just a quick question, going back to your black belt, did you ever fail any of your gradings?
No.
Okay. No. What do you think that was?
Just too good. You're just too good, weren't you, Rodger?
I would say, but I was so single-minded. When I decide to do something, I'm so single-minded, and I will get everything correct. I mean, I used to the theory. I used to in my bed at night time. I used to recite everything. If I get one word wrong, I just have to start again. That's where if I do my patterns and do anything wrong, I have to start again. If it didn't feel right, I have to start again. Not many people know this, but I actually like patterns. From colour belt up to my black belt, I used to win destruction patterns and sparring. Quite a lot of time. The only reason I stopped doing my patterns with a black belt because I was doing Chunu and somebody doing Moo, and there's no way you're going to win. So at that time, it wasn't like 11th playing field. I thought I'm not going to do it, but I do like patterns. So, but then I just concentrate on my sparring. But yeah, patterns awesome.
It's important to be an all rounder, though, isn't it? I think that's the thing with traditional martial arts. Yeah, it's great to spar. We all love sparring, but you've got to be an all rounder. You've got to learn to break. You've got to do the patterns because it's all part and parcel of becoming that martial artist, isn't it?
Exactly. So yeah, everything was brilliant. I used to like breaking. I used to have patterns, you sparring, because at that time you have to, if your club won the most medals points, the club would win a trophy. So everybody wanted to do their club to win the trophy. So at that time we had Shield and Birmingham won a hell of a lot. Then Wolverhampton took over. Then I think the North of England's club took over. But majority of that Shield was either Birmingham or Wolverhampton. So we had to do patterns, we had to do destruction, we had to spar to make it all-round martial artists. You actually don't realise what you're doing until it's done. What I'm saying is like, now you realise, yeah, I can break. Oh God, I can do patterns. Yeah, I can spar. And I know some theory. Not too bad.
And that being an all round, particularly when you go away to some of the international competitions, is key, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
You're there, and you've got to pull up the highest points total possible. So you need to be out there doing your patterns, perfecting your techniques, doing your destruction, and then obviously that all pays dividend for when you're fighting.
Yeah. Especially sometimes you have a team competition and the points tally and it goes towards the team.
That's right. Yeah.
You don't want to let the team down. Simple. So you don't go to the patterns or not break or whatever. If you do patterns and they do the decision another way, that's okay because you do method and you do the best you can. So you just have to be sharp all the time. So
no, you're dead right. So talk us through some of your what you would consider some of your most memorable fights, Rodger.
Memorable fights. All right.
So what was the one competition or one fight you thought, right, I've made it. I know where I am. I know the standard I want to be at.
You know something? I tell you what. It's the first black belt tournament. I can't remember what the guy's name. I think he's from Coventry, and he was in the England team, my weight. Then a bit cocky, I know, but I remember I was fighting in the final, and there's some of my teammates from supported me, and I said to them as soon as I went to the ring, I said, "Ding ding, long live the king! The king is dead," because that guy at my position. And guess what? He was in the team. He's not no more because I'm taking him out. I wish I did. So I mean, that's one of my memory fights. Again, I tell you what, another one. This is a defeat. Fighting awesome fighter, Manjit Khan, and I was known for a sidekick.
He was a Warwick lad, wasn't he, Manjit?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Sidekick, and he moves it front leg back and packed my leg down and punched me in the face. And he kept doing it all the time. I kept doing it and he beat me. And I thought, he beat me. And I went back home and I mentally went over the fight and knew why I lost. And then next time I fought him, I threw the side kick and he did exactly the same. And I knew from that technique, I know you've lost, I've won. Because for what I done, I threw the side kick, recalled it, hit me with the technique right in the head. Next technique, I said, got you. So that was one thing. Another fighter, Charlie, is Kenny's lad from up north, Doncaster way.
Yeah.
I fought him and he cut my lip, and I fought, and I beat him, and he said, "You only beat me because you're Rodger Lawrence." I looked at him, I think, right, okay then. Right, okay then. But he was selected, like myself, to fight in Russia. And I fought him in the semi-final. And I beat the crap out of him. And after 2 minutes ran, and he's laying on the floor, I said, "What's the matter, Charlie?" I said, "I'm knackered." I said, "No one knows I'm Rodger Lawrence. Just kicked your ass, didn't
I?" Brilliant. Yeah, but the thing is though, Rodger, you've got to earn that name, haven't you? And that's the thing, you don't, when you first competed, when you was a yellow belt and when you was a blue belt and a red belt, no one maybe knew your name then, but it takes time to get to that point where people know your name, right?
See, it's always an honor that people knew my name, because as I said, I'm just an ordinary guy that went to Taekwondo and I found his path within Taekwondo. I'm nothing special. I mean, I could tell you about special fighters what I've fought against, trained with, and they're special. So if somebody said, because you're Rodger Lawrence, because they think I'm special, and that's an honor. That is an honor. So
on those competed days, Rodger, what did you sort of do to condition yourself and to prepare yourself for those sort of fights? Was you a full-time fighter at the time, or was you also working as well?
I was working. I was a bricklayer, mate. I was laying brick for.
Okay.
And I mean, I wasn't driving at that time. I used to have to run home. And the night before, I'd made my sandwiches, I'd been kicked watch, and a quick shower, got the kick, I ran. And if I missed the bus, I had to run for the other bus. And if I missed that bus, I had to run over to training. That's what I train. I mean, as I said previously, 2 days a week Birmingham, 2 days a week Wolverhampton, then a circuit training and a Sunday morning and again in Birmingham. When I got a car and Friday night I go down to Warwick, the fight club, that was me. I don't drink, I don't smoke. My only vice is Taekwondo, and at that time women. I mean, that was it.
Yeah, the worst vice is advice, right?
And I was a professional athlete, but in my head I was, and that's how I used to live my life training just like that.
So while your bricky pals were sneaking off at lunchtime to get a dirty burger, you were like doing pull-ups on the scaffolding, right?
I was. I loved it. So yeah. So that was my life. I mean, let's go for a pint. I don't do. Oh, you soft. Okay, I'll kick you in the window.
What would you say then, Rodger? Was your I suppose your pinnacle moment? What competition did you feel? Oh, this is absolutely awesome. What sticks in your memories?
You know, that's a hard question because fighting a long time, different way. The only thing that sticks in my mind really, win my first world championship in my home city, Birmingham. I tell you what that sticks in my mind. I mean, I fought this guy from Argentina, beat him, and my oldest daughter was walking to the ring, and she just had a little placard, "My dad, world champion." I was not going to let my little girl down. I was not going to let my girl down. And when I won it, I turned around and it's like, give her a little kiss. And she's like, so that sticks to my mind. Not that actually, but it was a good fight. It was a good fight. I had 3 judges went for me, 1 for him, and Barney beat him anyway. But yeah, that stick to my mind. Birmingham, and my daughter had a little placard. My dad, world champion.
No,
yeah,
that's nice. That's a nice one. Yeah, that's something that will stick in your mind. And who would you say then, Rodger, has been throughout your fighting career has been your biggest nemesis? Someone that you're like, oh God, I'm going to go and fight him, or the sort of fight you didn't like to fight because his knees and elbows, that sort of person.
Magic Card.
Yeah. Okay.
Like he was not the most flexible person, but he was getting there. And then there's Steve Makes. Oh,
yeah.
I love him to bits. I really do. He's a really nice guy, but fighting was a bloody nightmare because he's opposite. He's like precise hitting you, everything, and yeah. Horrible fighters. Nice people, but horrible fighters. Yeah.
So what took you? What took you from Birmingham to? You're Liverpool now, right, Rodger?
No, I'm in Oldham.
Oldham. Okay. What sort of took you up north then? Was that training?
You know something? It's Taekwondo because at that time my father owned some pubs and clubs and whatever, and he wanted me to go to the business. But I was like, no, I don't want to do that. Not a chance. But I wanted to teach, and at that time you had to be 5 miles or so from any other clubs.
Sure. Yeah.
West Midlands was like packed.
Saturated, isn't it? It's saturated with martial arts clubs.
So either have to go to London. No disrespect, I can't stand London. Can't stand it at all. Or go up north. I used to go up north back in the days. Like I had girlfriends up north, so I liked the north. I thought, yeah, I'll go and teach in Liverpool. So I taught in Liverpool, and then I went to another club, and it's actually Steve's girlfriend from Oldham. I said, why did you try Oldham? So came to Oldham, met a girl, and there you go.
The rest is history. Did you ever go and train with Alfie?
No, 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 not at all. I was too busy doing my own training and teaching, so no.
Yeah. There's some good clubs up that way, wasn't there?
Oh, awesome clubs, awesome. You know, if I had my time again, I would have taken time and trained with Alfie because of different styles, whatever. But he would have showed me a different way to apply techniques, and I think everybody should go and train with as much people as you can because every technique in a different way. So
yeah, something that myself and Gavin, we are big advocates of. Certainly we tell our students, go and train with other instructors, go and train with other styles, so you can appreciate one, I suppose, the high quality instruction that I'm giving them, but more importantly, develop themselves as a martial artist.
Yeah.
Get around, understand how other people. I can be teaching somebody a technique for 5 years and they still can't get it. Someone can go and deliver that message in a totally different way, and it just snaps in their brain, and before you know it, they're the best person in the world doing that technique. So it's always advantageous, and certainly from my perspective, I want my students to be as best as they can be, better than me, surpass what I've achieved in my martial arts career. So getting them out there to work with and to be coaching people is important, I think.
I say the same thing about people like tournaments. Get on the open circuits. As no matter what association you're with, you're still in the goldfish bowl. Get on the also open circuit. Find with people from other associations. You learn so much more. You learn so much more.
Yeah, no, most definitely. So one of the things, Rodger, that we always ask our guests, you've been in the martial arts, Taekwondo stroke martial arts game many, many years now. What keeps you motivated? What keeps you motivated to get out, practice those patterns, perform those techniques, and then, pass that information and wisdom on to other people?
Because I've trained people and they kept coming. I see people as a wooden block, and I'm going to teach them and shape them. And when you teach and shape somebody, and they go out and perform with the sparring patterns, whatever, and you see this person change, and I love it. I've had parents bring their child to me and give me the honesty to let me try to mold that child, and I have done. And I can tell you stories. One I'll tell you. That he's got his father brought his son to me and said to me, "Try your best, is rubbish at everything." I looked at him and I think I can talk about your son in front of him like that. And anyway, and went to the first competition, is a green belt, and he didn't win. And first competition, and his brother said, "Told he's rubbish." I'm thinking, well, I won't tell you what I thought. Anyway, about a year or two later, he got his black belt. Went down to competition and won it. I looked at his dad, and his dad looked at me. No words were said. And then the boy came up to me and he was like, almost said, thank you, sir. Then you asked what inspired me to keep you going. That.
Yeah.
I love it. I had stories like parents about to kick the kids out the house because he's into drugs, into doing stupidness. And I've talked to them, trained them, and they're actually instructors now. Instructors. And that's what keeps me going.
Yeah, that mentoring and life coaching, it's all part of martial arts, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's certainly rewarding.
Of course, obviously, get the other side. When you see some of your students go out to be European world champions, I think, yeah, that's my student. I done that. So you boss it all the way through. So it's just like, yeah.
I think as when you've been an instructor for such a long time, you must have numerous stories like that. And it's not even the big ones, is it? It's the little differences that you might make to somebody's life. There might be a youngster who's having a bit of a bad time at home, and he might come in and he might only get 1 grade, but you know that you've played some sort of part in that child's life and that child's development, and that little part that you played, might have changed that child's life.
I've got this guy he sings for a living, and he goes around shows singing from the FA and the boxing. and he phoned me, and I just about remember his name, and he told me how great I inspired him and all the rest of it. I think, thank you. I think that was like 7-8 years ago, but you remember it and you found my number, and you phoned me. How good is that?
Yeah, that's I think one of the biggest joys of being a martial arts instructor. Without a doubt.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, shocking. And somebody stopped you. My daughter used to train you. She's still talking about she's new, but she's still talking about. I'll tell her. I see that. I think, God, you know what I mean? Parents, grannies come and talk to me. I think, God. I mean,
the worst bit is when they come up to you in the street and they say, "Do you remember me, Mr. Cook?" Or "Do you remember me?" And you look at them and you think,
no,
I can't remember you. And they're like, and there's like, I was 5 when you taught me, and they're like in their 20s now.
No. And it's coming and bring the son. I said,
there'll be their own kids in, yeah. Right. I'm getting old.
Yeah.
More mature, but we never get old. We get mature.
Yeah, that's very true. Right, we're going to wrap up in a minute, Rodger. But final question, and we ask this of all of our guests, and we get varying answers. So, what advice would you give to a younger you regarding your martial arts journey? That you wish some advice that you'd have had when you were younger.
I just wish somebody told me it's all right to be cocky, but don't be stubborn. I was too stubborn, and I was said that enjoy who you were fighting, but go out and fight in the open circuit, compete with everybody, train with everybody. What you said, go and train with everybody, other styles. I used to go up and down the country, train with other TB instructors, but I missed out. I should have trained with the other people from Laogai karate to just train, be more open. That's what be more open. And that's what I tell to my students. Go out there, any tournament you want, get on it. If you want to train with somebody else, go. Because I'm a good instructor and I know you'll come back, but you're going to learn something. And maybe you can teach me something. No big deal. So be open, be less stubborn, and go out and enjoy the world of martial art, just like Taekwondo.
I think in the world that we live in now with the internet, your students are already training with other people anyway. You don't even realize it. They're just training. They're training with them on YouTube, or they're training with them. It's not, that those days are gone, aren't they? Where the instructors it's almost like a big secret. Oh no, you can't go anyone else. You can't see. I don't want you to tell, show someone else how I teach you this or how I teach you that. You've got to let them go, haven't you?
You got to let them go. Be open. Let him go. Because you have to be confident within yourself. I'm a good instructor. So they'll go out and train, but they'll always come home. This is home. Well, they'll come back with a different knowledge of something. Then I'll look and think, oh, that's interesting. That's good. Then I'll see that from and I'll lose that. No big deal. That's how we learn.
That open-mindedness, I think, that's the best way to bring martial arts to people and get the best of martial arts out of people.
Yeah, definitely.
Rodger, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the podcast today. So thank you very much for taking time out to speak to us.
No problem.
Yeah, thanks, Rodger. It's been great. Been nice to chat to you tonight.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay. Cheers, Rodger. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I hope you all enjoyed this week's episode of the Motivated Martial Artist podcast. Don't forget to check out our Facebook page and our Facebook group, the Motivated Martial Artist podcast.
And don't forget also the Motivated Martial Artist Instagram page.
So head along for some extra content, interviews and much more.
So until next week, it's bye from Jackson
and Gavin,
the Motivated Martial Artists.